Hi, this is Siofra's Magic Alcove, and I am Ian. I wanted to talk a little bit more about how I was meditating on the root chakra, and I wanted to mention something called the Bija Mantra, but I think that requires some explanation of what it is. Basically, what I do is meditate on the root chakra using the Bija Mantra, which is Lum, Lam, and it is called a seed mantra. And a seed mantra is like a seed, as you would think. So there are other kinds of mantras, but we're talking about seed mantras for this in this instance. So you can look at it almost like an acorn. You plant it, it grows into a big tree. Well, a seed mantra is the seed of the thing that it represents. So it is the very essence of it, not as in a physical seed, but in the essence of what makes that seed alive and grow and do its thing. So the very essence of it. In this case, it is the essence of the earth element. And Lum, repeated as a mantra, can do some pretty amazing things. But you have to get command of the mantra, let's say. To do that, there are different ways. One of them, the most time-consuming way, is just to repeat it over and over and over again until it begins to bring a functional result. By this method, it is said, and there are numerous reports, though they're far and few between, of people starting fires by the fire mantra. And so you could use the earth mantra in the same way if you master it. In other words, anything that earth would do, like making things heavy. But really what you need to do before you can control or work with the earth element like that is you need to become in tune with it, on par with it. And that's one of the things the seed mantra is good for. So you repeat the seed mantra, do it with the knowledge that it is the essence of that earth element, and that is what it's portraying, and it's putting forth. That has an actual force and an energy to it that lets you kind of get in the earth element throughout it with the akaja, and that's an aspect of the seed mantras, is the akaja aspect, to manifest them down. And will bring you, by practicing it internally, contact with that earth element. And you want to do that to an extent that it doesn't cause you discomfort. In other words, you need to have control of the element and not let the element control you. So, the element controlling you, what does that mean? Well, if it's the earth element, you look at earth-like, earthy properties such as reliability, heaviness, strength, solidity. So, you want to be a solid person, maybe. Focus on the earth element. And solidity, stability, all those kinds of aspects you can help bring into yourself through this. And in using this mantra in the root chakra, because the cube or the square is the symbol of earth in the root chakra, I usually put my consciousness down there, and which is another whole practice, and find myself floating above or in the earth element cube, and then repeat the mantra with it expanding outward from me, and since I'm usually in the earth cube at that point, I visualize it as that color, that yellow tan color, going out from me, being the seed of earth. And since you get in contact with the seed of earth element, and that's the most subtle form, you're getting in contact with the aspects of it before it materializes down into an actual material substance. So now you're dealing with some energetic aspects of the earth's substance, we'll call it that. And then it does take a certain amount of work and effort and practice, reoccurrence, to make that actually manifest down and become a usable mantra so you can actually do things with it. But it will develop you and develop those earth abilities in you. The problem is that all of the elements have a upside and a downside. In other words, they have things they can boost in you that you appreciate, that you need, and you need to get in contact with, but they also have negative things they can increase in you. For example, the water element. Okay, so that can increase love, okay, or your sensitivity, for example, to psychic phenomena. But it also means you're going to become more sensitive to past people who have insulted you in the past hurts and pains, and you become more aware of those. And you have to use another aspect of the water to try to get rid of those, as the water element is what helps you to let go of things you want to let go of. In that sense, obviously fire can burn them away, but water, if you let go of it, let it be washed away from you. So you have negative aspects. So if you're working with the earth element, it could, if you really increase the wrong aspects, like the intellectual aspects, way past where they should be, and then you might get dullness, mental dullness. Or if you happen to work on it physically, you might end up getting large physically, not so much overweight as more solid, firm, to the point where maybe it slows you down. Kind of the idea of being muscle bound, kind of that sort of thing, where it's good to the point that it begins to hinder you. And like all things, all of this stuff can be overdone, so please don't overdo it. That's my recommendation for the Bija Mantra. And I wanted to explain real quick one last thing, how a mantra is conceived of and how it's conceived that it works. So this supposedly works because at the beginning of everything, the beginning of the universe, there was a vibration. And people call this different things. And I think this theory, which is thousands of years old, is actually compatible with our modern theories of how things work, our modern understanding of things. But the idea is that vibration, and the image I'm going to use to get this across easily is like a bunch of rocks thrown in a pond. Suddenly you get ripples, and then the ripples interact with each other and you get different waves. And the idea is that you get this kind of interaction and it makes waves everywhere, and these waves are the things that manifest down as things becoming the universe. And they term this, in this system, I believe it's pronounced the Shabda, but it's the original happening, the original movement, the original energy, and in this case they liken it to a sound. Of course, we're talking an esoteric version of sound, since you don't have physical sound without physical air and physical ears. It manifests down as the universe, and therefore if you get the right sound, for example the one that represents the earth element, you are supposedly tapping into and working with the original essence of that element, but it's esoteric and it's very subtle. So it takes lots of repetition and working with it to get it to manifest down. But this is how one of the ways people have been able to do things. There was a Swami actually there have been several Swamis in India who have legendarily been talked about as having done this, is to do something like put extreme weight on a train so that it cannot move by earth element, focusing just the aspect of the weight of the earth element onto a train, making it too heavy to move, that type of thing. But regardless of how it's done, there are stories and things that people have seen things, they have seen them do things like this. One of them was Swami Nityananda Ganeshpuri. He did that particular thing with trains and some other stuff. But that's the idea behind that. And working with the elements is very important. You've got your earth is at your root chakra. Navel chakra is the seat of fire. Heart chakra, seat of air. Throat chakra, the seat of the akasha. And the brow chakra, you go up from there. Brow chakra is called ajna because the command, they say the command of the guru comes from there. And again, we're not talking the physical guru. We're talking the very essence of guru, what guru is. If you were to find a real guru, this would be like what they are, what motivates them, the very essence of guru. So that's what you're working with. So obviously you have to work with that a lot to materialize that down into yourself and be a real guru. That's a whole nother thing. And I think this has been enough on this episode, or on this video for now. Please, if you have any questions, please ask me, and I will be glad to answer them in the best way I know how. Thank you for watching my video. This is Ian with Siofra's Magic Alcove. Thank you. Blessed be.